a level of toughness and physicality needed to be brought to play against such a great team in Ohio State, and they did that in the second half. Not only on the defensive end, but I think on the offensive end as well, in terms of getting to their spots and getting to the shots that they wanted. And, the discipline and details of being able to execute in the crunch time, I thought they were fantastic. I'm very proud of them.
Was there anything about your message then at halftime that was maybe a little bit different when you've been in some of those situations this year? I think Armando just answered that.
I was direct. I was straightforward. I didn't speak in tongues or interpretation. They knew exactly where I was coming from. And that's the way I always communicate, but I did it with a higher volume at halftime. And Armando and Caleb have said they like the higher volume from me, and so I'm going to continue to do that, okay?
Hubert, where did Coach Lebo get the play for Pete at the end of regulation? Like, did he have that deep in the bag?
Yes, maybe. I don't know what bag he has,
He said he was watching the game.
Perfect. Well, we have a number of plays in late game situations that we can go to, and we didn't have one in that situation. The first thing is I thought their execution was fantastic to get the ball across half court to get us into a position where we can run that play. And then Coach Lebo thought that we could get the ball to Pete because of his length, just throw it up. They weren't going to foul him. And one of the things that Pete loves to do, he loves that side of the block, and he loves the turnaround jumper. And so, not that he was going to hit it, but that's a shot that he likes to take and takes all the time. And so, at the end of the day, it's about executing. You can write up all the plays that you want. It's a make or miss game, and Pete stepped up and made them, and so it gave us an opportunity to go into overtime.
Hubert, as you said, that the play before the play, if you will, to get to half court was equally, if not more important. How did that kind of come about, that conversation to get the ball there, to do it that way as opposed to go the traditional route, trying to eat it all, eat 94 feet in one shot?
Well, I just didn't think we could get a clean shot going full court, so I just drew up a play that gave us three options to catch the ball near half court. And I told them, once you catch it, it was a little bit over 2 seconds, you have one dribble. And I said, you got to get it over half court and call timeout, because if you get it over half court, then you can advance the basketball. And so they ran it perfectly. Leakey's pass to RJ was fantastic. RJ got it over and called timeout. So you're exactly right. I mean, the execution of that play was probably just as or more important than the one to Pete.
Hubert, I guess none of you guys have really played in the Garden. I'm surprised RJ hasn't played here because he's local.
No, we played for a private school. They played their state championships at Fordham.
Yeah, he said he
never played here before. He's seen games.
What did you think of his performance? He had the tying shot and then the go-ahead three. And how much do you hope? You said you hope to play games here in the future.
No, we are. As soon as I took the job, I said that every year Carolina will have a presence here in the Garden. This is every year Coach Smith brought us here, and so it ties me back to Coach Smith and Coach Guthridge, and then the 4 years that I started off my NBA career here as well. I'm so thankful. One of the things that I told them before the game, I said that this is a game that you will remember for the rest of your life. Just the atmosphere, being in New York City, our hotel's right across the street. We walk to the game, and it's just there's just something different and something special here. So to have a game like this, to come up big like Armando and everybody else, this is an experience that they will remember for the rest of their life, and that puts a huge smile on my face.
Hubert, how much did you guys need a win like this against a good team since the other 4 losses against other major conference teams?
I don't think we needed to win this game. I think it was we approached this game as a game that we wanted to get better and we wanted to improve on. I wouldn't say we needed a win against a good team. The other 7 games that we played, they were really good teams too. So this is just an opportunity for us to get better against a really good Ohio State team, and we responded extremely well, and I'm very, very happy and very proud of all the players. It was their win.
Coach, you talked about...
Hey, hang on. Armando, since I dragged you down here, you talk about playing in the Garden for the first time and the comeback?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. The atmosphere out there, I mean, it was like something, as a kid, you just look and see all the historical games at the Garden, and I mean, I think this game can go down as one of those two. And, I mean, shout out to the fans. It's probably about 15 to 16,000 Carolina fans, and just seeing all the white and Carolina blue that really gave us a bump, and they were all into it. So my hat's off to our fans.
You have another one from Armando.
Armando, talk about the second half. You had enough space to create this shot. You know, it seemed like they created space for you in the second half. What was doing the first half different in the second half?
Yeah, well, I mean, Coach came in at halftime and he gave us a moving speech, and I think in the first half they did a good job of Ohio State getting the shots that they won and getting all the offensive rebounds, and they really kind of, in the first half, they punked us, really. And I mean, the second half I thought we did a good job coming out early, and then in the middle we kind of let up a little bit, but just our fight to come back and win in such a gutsy manner, it was just huge for us, and it's just something for us to build on.
Dana?
As Coach said, when he raises his voice, he doesn't do it as often as perhaps others do. Does it catch you guys, and does it send a different sort of message because it comes at you a little louder? And he's not normally a loud person.
Well, I mean, I would say Coach, I mean, his message gets to us all the time. I mean, I think a lot of times, really, we just don't do a good job of fully staying locked in the whole time. But, I mean, Coach, he's turned up all the time, and he wants to compete every time. So I wouldn't say it was anything different. Like he said, the volume was a lot different, and he was probably more blunt about it. But, I mean, I would think the message is always the same.
Third row.
Armando, you talk about how big this game was. I mean, you've been in a lot of big games, Coach K, last game, Final Four, National Championship. Where would you rank this experience? Madison Square Garden, all those parties and everything. How do you feel about this, and where do you rank the game?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it after the game, and, I mean, we think it might be up there for number one just because how up and down it was, being down 14, and just the atmosphere. I mean, it was really crazy. It was packed. Like I said, it was 16,000, 17,000 Carolina fans. For me, I loved it. It was a great game.
Questions for either one?
Hubert, the way your guards were able to really turn the speed of the game in the second half with that press, what did you like about, obviously, that matchup, and why did you think that press was able to be as successful as it was?
Well, we did it for the first time against Virginia Tech, and at that point we were down by 18, and we cut it to 3. And so after the game, I felt like this is something that we could go to, and all the players, to a person, came up to me and go, they really like that. I would love to do that more, not just in the second half or late game situations. I just felt like our starters were in there so much, so it's hard to do that for an entire game, but their ability to get deflections and steals, create turnovers, speed up the game, I thought that was huge. They've been fantastic with it all year, and I really do. I want to do it more. I think it's something that they do really well, and I'm looking forward to trying to figure out a way to do that more consistently throughout the game.
Okay, last four. These three gentlemen, VIP, then you two, then CL.
Coach Davis, how big is the trust factor there, not just with the players, but with your staff where you guys can run a play that you've never even run in a practice before?
Well, there's tremendous trust. I mean, just because we ran a play that we've never run in practice, we're together in practice every day. And so we spend time together. And so the time shared together builds that trust to let everybody be involved. One of the things that I tell the guys all the time, and this is a great example, like nobody can do it by themselves. You always need help. You got to do it together. And so for Armando to be as dominant as he is, he needs the other players on the floor to be really good. And so in order for me to be the best coach that I can be, I need help from other coaches. And we're all in this together, and we're a team, and I wouldn't want to be a part of a different family or a different team than the one that I'm a part of right now.
Armando, you came out of the game after about a minute in the first half. Was there any dialogue on the bench before you went back in and scored 16 points in the first half?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just tricky because Zed Key, I got that one early foul, and he does a good job of getting positioning. And usually a lot of the times, especially when you got one foul, a guy that can get position, they can get you low down there in the paint. So it was obviously an easy opportunity for me to get another quick foul if I was in the wrong area, and I couldn't play aggressive on top of all of that. So really, Coach was just giving me some time to let some of the time run out and not get a foul. And then they subbed in the freshman, and I told the coach I thought that would be a good opportunity for me to kind of just get my flow and get into the game a little bit and not have to be super aggressive defensively because Zed Key is obviously a really good player.
Last two here, then CL.
Coach, you talked about it from a team perspective. Personally, how did it feel when you showed up today? You got that shout out from John Starks in the game. When you walked off the court with a victory at the place where you started your NBA career.
I didn't see.
During a timeout, they put a message up from John Starks on the video board. You were a little busy in the huddle.
What did John say?
Nice things.
Welcome you back, boy.
Oh, that's my dude. That's interesting. Last night I showed them a couple videos when I played with the Knicks. I showed them in my rookie year when we played against the Phoenix Suns, and they set that screen on Doc Rivers, and it was all-out brawl. And then I showed them in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Chicago Bulls when Derek Harper and I think it was JoJo, I can't remember who it was from the Bulls. It was all-out brawl in the stands, and so I told them, I said, I don't want you to get into a brawl, but I just wanted to let you know the experience that I had here at New York and the unbelievable teammates that I had that taught me so much about basketball and off the court, and one of those guys was John Starks. I couldn't have asked to be drafted and spend the first 4 years of my NBA career with anybody different than John and Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley, and be coached by guys like Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy. It was an unbelievable experience, and walking back into the Garden make me it feel doesn't feel it. It's home. I love New York, and I love the Garden, and I wish that I could have played my entire career here. I just love this place.
Last question, CL.
Hubert, how much do you feel like maybe that 4 overtimes against Alabama may have helped just the experience?
I do think it helped. I do. I think it helped from the standpoint they did not want to go 4 overtimes, and that was a lot of motivation. But I also think the experience of being in a position a number of times in that game for the outcome to be different, and to let's learn from that and let's grow from it. And being in those situations earlier this year for this year's team, I thought was really helpful in the late game situations, understanding what we needed to do in terms of our execution on both ends of the floor. It would be great if we can learn those type of lessons by winning every game, but it just didn't happen, and I'm very proud of the way they responded today.
Thanks. Do you know if you have any games scheduled here next year? Or?
We do. We're playing in the Jimmy V Classic, and as long as I'm head coach here, we're at North Carolina. We'll always have a presence here at the Garden. This is home for us.